Wake up with Matt in the morning.
Hey guys, Matt here with Matt in the Morning, and today we're doing smoked salmon. Listen, here's what we got. We got one fillet ready to go. Now, this is not just any salmon. This is Deb's smoked salmon. I call it Deb's smoked salmon because my friend Deb out in the Tacoma, Washington area, this is her recipe. Now, she was kind enough to put it together for us, but she even states in there like, hey, I don't measure stuff. She's been doing it for years. She just does it to it. Here we go. It's right down below. I cut back on the salt and brown sugar just because her recipe calls for it being enough for 4 slabs. We just got 1. So keep that in mind. The ingredient list that I'm going to put down below in the description will be her full recipe. That's enough for 4 slabs. It fills her whole smoker. Because when she does this, she's not just doing 1, right? She's doing a whole smoker's worth. Makes sense. So it's my first time doing hers. So I'm just wanting to do 1. If I do it right, we'll go from there and do more. So anyways, down below, here's what we got. I'm using a 1/4 cup of canning salt. And I'm going to show this to you. Canning and pickling salt. You could use kosher salt if you wanted. The main thing is it doesn't have any anti-caking solution in it. Doesn't have iodine and a couple other things. I had to look it up, like what's the big deal with canning salt. So anyways, that's what that is right there. Next is dark brown sugar, not light brown, dark brown. Next up is some coarse grind black pepper. Got the big jug of it there. Next to that is granulated California garlic, or just granulated garlic. Ain't got to be California. The key though is granulate. Don't use the powder because that can clump up on you, and that's not good. So I always use granulated. Next up is granulated onion powder. Granulated onion powder. I don't have the container. Anyways, whatever it is, onion. Next up is smoked paprika. We got that right there. Boom. Next up is some Old Bay. Look, going. Some Old Bay. Not New Bay, Old Bay. Tells you what. Then we got some parsley and dill. Parsley and dill weed. Dill weed. This isn't not that kind of dill weed. Anyways, there we go. I'm just gonna mix this up. This is gonna be our brine. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this slab of salmon, we're gonna slice it up into the sizes that we want. We're gonna sprinkle this brine on both sides of it. Then we're gonna put it in this container right here. Then we're gonna cover it, and it's gonna go in the fridge overnight. Actually, it's gonna sit out for an hour. Then it's gonna go in the fridge overnight, 12 to 14 hours. Here we go. Now I'm just gonna cut this into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 pieces. Oh, Clark will be happy to see we're using the Kaiser blade. You know what? Jason will be also happy to see this. This is a good blade for anything, including cutting salmon. So here we go. We're just gonna take this thing, and again, it's just to the sizes you want. Whatever size is gonna fit your needs. I probably should have used a different knife, but I feel like I'm committed to this at this point. I feel like I mean, it's cutting good, but I should have sharpened it a little bit better. At least I should have sharpened it better before doing a video. God, come on. Get with the program. Yeah, you're gonna cut it into whatever sizes are gonna fit your needs. Okay, so now all we're gonna do is sprinkle this over it. We're gonna get this good and coated. Then we're gonna put it back in this container. So what am I doing? I could just use my hands. So it's all going back to the same spot. And again, once I put it back in here, we're gonna let it sit out for about an hour. Then we're gonna put it in the fridge. We will try to turn it once, flip all these things once during this process. We'll see if I get up in 6 hours to do that. I probably won't. Just like that, we're ready to go. It's gonna sit out for an hour. I'm gonna pop the top on. We're putting it in the fridge overnight. We'll pull it out, let them sit out for a little bit, put them on a rack, toss them on the smoker. See you tomorrow. Okay, it's been about 14 hours. Wait. 13, 14. Anyhow, here we go. As you can see down below in the GoPro, I've got it already set out onto a grate. Before that though, what I did was I pulled this out of the fridge. Of course, you know we had the Tupperware. It was full. Pulled out of the fridge, pull a piece out, rinse it with cold water, and then just set it aside. I did that for each piece, each individual piece, pulled it out, rinsed it, set it aside, dried it with a paper towel, and then I put it over here on this grate. And this is just so I can easily take it out to the smoker. I am gonna put another grate below it just to get it off the ground, and that's just for any, off the table. That's just for anything that might drip off. I'm gonna let it sit out for about an hour, hour and a half, just until the fish starts getting a little tacky. Look what you're wearing, fish. Anyways, that's when we're gonna toss it on the smoker. I'll come back, I'll show you that. We'll talk about temp. One thing I wanna point out is I took this grate and I put it upside down. Usually you'd have it the other way, so this is sitting on the table or whatever. I put it this way just so I have something to easily grab for taking it on and off the smoker. So there's a little fun tip for you. I also did spray it with some olive oil for sticking. So anyways, that's it for this part. Pull it out, rinse it real good, dry it off, set it on a rack, put it on the table for about an hour or two until it gets a little tacky, and then we're ready to smoke them. So I'll be back. See you in a minute. Oh, very important. Save this for Deb's smoked salmon. We're gonna reuse this. So don't throw this away. Okay guys, so it's been sitting out for about 2 hours now. I was gonna take you outside when we put it on the grill, but they're doing a bunch of asphalt work, so it's kind of loud. As you can see down below, we're kinda, feel it, it's kind of tacky, if it makes sense. I don't know. I'm not a professional salmon smoker, so. Looks good though. Been sitting out 2 hours. I'm getting this thing preheated. I'm gonna do 175. Deb says she puts her Bradley to, I think she said medium. I'd have to look again. But it's between 170 and 180. So I'm gonna split the difference and say 175. And I'm not using a smoke tube this round. And typically, the first time I made smoked salmon, I used, I think it was apple pellets, apple wood. This is a competition blend, so might come out a little smokier than I would typically like, but I was too lazy to go to the store and buy different pellets and swap them out. So here we are. Luckily it's just for me. Nobody else in this house seems to like it. So there we go. I will be seeing if Adeline Bell likes it once this is ready in a few days. So anyways, I'm just gonna go throw this out on the smoker. I'll try to get a couple pictures so I can at least add to this video so you can see the process. One huge thing to keep an eye on. If you're going out there to check on it, it's going to roll for about 4 hours. I'm going to check it probably in an hour and a half. If you're starting to get little white spots up here, the heat's too high. Lower it down. That means it's like cooking the salmon versus smoking the salmon. So if you're starting to see little white, little liquidy things pop up on the salmon, turn that heat down. Anyways, I'll see ya in a little bit. Oh, by the way, did you notice I cut my hair during this little span of time? Yeah, I was looking like a hippie out there. Right, everybody, we're about halfway through. That's what it's looking like so far. Getting a nice color on them. Okay, check it out. Down below on the GoPro camera here, we got the final product. A nice golden color to it. Hard to explain what it feels like. It's tough, but if you push too much, I don't know if I can see See how that's starting to break? Anyways, I don't want to do that because I want to get it back in the dish. This was on here a total of, let's see what time it is, almost 5 hours. Again, it just depends on, you know, what temp you're doing it at, but you want a nice golden brown color to it. That's all I know. Once you get this, I just pull it off. So next is we're gonna put it back in our brine. Remember, we saved our brine that we sat this thing in overnight. We're gonna put this back in it. That's right, back in the brine. This stuff's still hot too. I just pulled it off the smoker, literally just now. And I'm putting it back in the brine. Back in the brine. We're gonna let it sit in here for about 2 days. And about every 8-ish hours or so, I'll come out and I'll shake this thing up. Shake, rattle, and roll. Because we're going to be... Sorry, I didn't bring napkin or anything over here with me. Here we go. Good enough. Christmas one. So, which is fine because about every 8 hours I'm going to come and I'm going to mix these all up. So, there we go. See you in 2 days. Oh, this is going to be good. I may or may not have already had a little piece of the end of it just to, you know, make sure it was done. And it's already good. So, anyways, see you in a couple days. All right, guys, here we are. We're back. It's bright and early in the morning. I swear I look fatter first thing in the morning. I don't know what it is. Anyways, down below we have the salmon that has been sitting here soaking for 2 days. I have flipped it roughly every 8 hours. Actually, it's about 12. Flip it in the night, flip it in the morning. And here we go. This is what we got, final product. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to rinse this off. I'm just going to simply package it up. Drop it right in there. This is, I already had a little piece of this, as you can see. May have jumped ahead yesterday, but that's okay. This is really good. I smoked it for actually about 5 hours. At that 4-hour mark, I just wasn't feeling good about it being ready. So I let it go another hour. I won't do that next time. I'll pull it at 4. Still good, but it's a little more dried out than I would like it to be. So, you know, again, listen, Deb, she makes this stuff all the time. She's a master at this, so, you know, I'm just kind of starting out. So it'll get better next time. I will do her brine again. Take his gloves off. The brine, it was delicious. And I think putting it back in the tub with the brine and doing the flipping it keep it in there for a couple days and just keep turning it every 8 to 12 hours. That's a solid way to do this. You're gonna have good, solid, you're gonna get that flavor, is gonna hit you. I don't know why I'm looking down at this, you're not seeing it. This brine is great. It's packed full of, it's got some sweetness to it. You got the nice herbal flavor going on with it, and you still get that salmon flavor. Just don't smoke it as long as I did. Next time I'll probably also go back to using, like I did in my first one, a wood pellet. A wood pellet. An apple wood, cherry, pecan, something like that. A wood pellet, that doesn't even make sense. Of course it's wood. You know, so the smoke flavor doesn't punch you in the face as much as the competition blend. But it's not bad. It's just, I personally would want it dialed back a little bit more. So if you don't like a stronger smoke flavor, get a lighter flavored wood. Cherry, apple, pecan, versus a competition blend, something with hickory and oak, stuff like that in it. What else? I don't know, it's good. It's only my second time doing smoked salmon, so I'm sure just like Deb does, you know, would kind of adjust it as she goes. You know, but I like to go in with this Deb's because years of doing this over and over has created perfection, in my opinion. So, Deb, this is excellent smoked salmon. I know I don't do yours justice, but thank you for the recipe. Anyways, this is Deb's smoked salmon. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, share it, tell your friends about us. Here we are. Let's go cooking good stuff. Yeah. See you next time.